One of these men was honored in Washington last week by a foreign government. What is your name, please?
My name is Charlie Wells.
What is your name, please?
My name is Charlie Wells, Jr.
What is your name, please?
My name is Charlie Wells.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Charlie Wells and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Arid Cream Deodorant, America's largest selling deodorant. Don't be half safe, be completely safe. Use Arid Cream Deodorant, to be sure. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. Next, Mr. Don Ameche. Then Miss Kitty Carlisle. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it? I, Charlie Wells, Jr., am a bakery worker by vocation and an amateur radio operator by avocation. One Saturday night last month, I intercepted a call from a fellow ham radio operator in Ghana, Africa. He was calling for assistance. An 8-year-old son of an Israeli official was dying of an accidental brain injury. I contacted the Israeli embassy in Washington. As a result, 2 United States Navy surgeons flew from Morocco to Ghana and saved the child's life. Last week in Washington, I received a letter of commendation from the Israeli ambassador. I also have been invited to visit Israel next summer as the guest of the ham radio operators of that country. Signed, Charlie Wells, Jr. Three gentlemen to begin our activities this evening. Panel, all claiming to be Charlie Wells, Jr., ham radio operator. Let's begin this first round of questioning, if our guests are comfortably settled, with Tom Poston. Tom?
I would like to ask the question, what is an FM tuner? How about you, number 3? Could you tell us what an FM tuner is?
Well, FM is frequency modulation, and that would be the tuner that corrects your set or adjusts it for that. Anesthetic, in other words.
Number 2, do you know what an FM tuner is? And how come you said junior among the only... Now, that's one question. What's an FM tuner?
An FM tuner is essentially what he said it was. It's a frequency modulator tuner, which adjusts your set, puts it on the right frequency for the station's broadcasting.
Number 1, what's an FM tuner?
Molly Bergen is an FM tuner.
Number 1, it says here you're a bakery worker by vocation. You work in a regular bakery? I mean, making bread and things like that. Where are you from, Mr. Wells, number 1?
Greenville, North Carolina.
Number 2, where are you from?
Greenwood, Indiana.
Number 2, what route is Richmond, Indiana on?
It's on Road 67.
Number 1, you were from North Carolina. Where's the Azalea Festival held every year?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Number 3, where are you from?
I'm from Belton, Texas, lady.
I'm not going to give you a chance to say a word about Texas.
Don Ameche, please.
Number 1, how do you make sourdough?
I don't know.
Number 2?
Our bakery doesn't manufacture sourdough.
Number 3?
I don't know.
Number 2, what's the difference between American bread and French bread?
Our bakery only makes American bread as far as I know.
Number 3?
Same, we make American bread.
Number 1, what's the difference between American and French bread?
Well, I guess one of them's a hard bread and the other one's supposed to be soft, but...
Number 2, what are donuts cooked in?
Sir, our bakery makes only bread.
Number 3, what are donuts cooked in?
Well, our bakery makes only bread.
Number 1, what are donuts cooked in?
I don't know.
Number Carlisle.
Are you sure one of these people is Charlie Wells Jr.?
Number 2, where did you say you come from?
From Greenwood, Indiana.
Greenwood, Indiana. None of you folks are very close to Washington. Number 1, how did you get your information to Washington?
By telephone.
You called Washington?
That's right.
Number 2, who did you call?
I called the ministry, the Israeli ministry in Washington.
And who's the minister?
The minister there is Abraham Harmon.
Number 3, who's the minister?
That's correct, Mr. Harmon.
That's it, panel. It's time to vote. Without consultation, although I don't know what you dare consult about in this one, mark your ballots, if you will, and select thereby number 1, number 2, or number 3. The team of challengers will, of course, get $250 for every incorrect vote. Has everybody voted? Polly? For whom did you vote?
Well, I voted for number 1 because I felt that after his remark about some American bread not being too soft either, he would need the money. Because he probably has just been fired.
Okay. Don, your vote, please.
I voted for number 2 because I thought he answered all my questions so magnificently.
Kitty, which one do you think is
I
the
voted
real
for
one?
number 2. He said he was Charlie Wells Jr., and that's what it says here. And he said who the... I didn't understand who the ambassador was. But I believe he said it right.
Okay, and finally, Tom, your vote.
I voted for number 1, Bud. An FM tuner can be construed as what 3 and 2 said, but it isn't the answer that I was looking for. I thought maybe also he knew something about baking. Number 2, I thought, didn't answer the question. He just gave new information, the fact that the American bakeries don't bake French bread and so forth, but I don't know whether he knew or not.
All right, there you have it. We've all had a slice of that particular dough, and let's see what happens now as we discover which one of these 3 is the real ham radio operator, erstwhile baker. Will the real Charlie Wells Jr. please stand up? Thank you, sir, very much. You may be seated again, if you will. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name's John Drake, and I'm a pre-law student at Columbia College, New York.
You are from
And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Dan Spears. I'm an accountant for Shell Oil, and I am from Belton, Texas.
Well, there you have it. And in checking over the score, we find, gentlemen, there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total for you of $500 from Arid. On your way out, you will find there is a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you. Thank you very much for being with us. Hope you had fun. Good night and good luck. Now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mansy Guerrero.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mansy Guerrero.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mansy Guerrero.
Again, would you listen as I read you this affidavit, panel? I, Mansy Guerrero, am a bridge engineer. I graduated cum laude from Vanderbilt University with a degree in civil engineering. After graduation, I worked both as a college mathematics teacher and as an engineer for the Louisiana State Highway Department. In my present job, I have so far designed and supervised the building of 5 bridges, with another one currently under construction. I am chief engineer in charge of the bridge division for the city of New Orleans. Signed, Mansy Guerrero. 3 ladies this time, panel, each one having just filed her claim to being Mansy Guerrero, bridge engineer. And if you ladies are ready to play along with us, why, we'll start our questioning this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, what is piling?
Piling?
Mm-hmm.
There are things that go into the ground to hold up bridges.
Number 2, where is Slidell, Louisiana?
Oh, about 45 miles from New Orleans.
Number 3, where is Slidell?
I don't know. I haven't been in New Orleans but about a year and a half or 2 years.
Number one, do you know where Slidell is?
I don't know the exact location. No, I think it's near New Orleans.
Number three, can you pour cement in cold weather? Where did I suddenly get a southern accent? Number three, can you pour cement in the cold weather?
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference.
Number one, can you pour cement in cold weather?
Yes.
Number two? Number one, where have you constructed most of these 5 bridges to supervise these?
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
Don Ameche. Number 2, how do they test bridges for wind resistance?
Blow on them.
Number 3?
Hold them up.
You have tables that tell you what kinds of construction will stand what kinds of forces.
Number 1?
Well, our bridges doesn't make a difference. There's not much wind.
Number 2, what is the... Number 2, what is the stress per square foot on a bridge like the old something equivalent to George Washington Bridge? What would be the stress? What would be the stress point, number 3?
Well, it's built to withstand almost any force, but I don't know what it is because I don't know all the details about George Washington Bridge.
Number 1, what is the longest bridge in the world? Number 2?
The Golden Gate.
I beg your pardon?
The Golden
Kitty?
Gate.
Number one, are you from New Orleans?
No, not originally.
Are you number 2?
No, not originally.
Do you all live there? Would you all three say New Orleans, number 1? Say New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And you number 2?
New Orleans.
And you number 3?
New Orleans.
Well, I was born there, and I don't think, well...
You say it, Kitty.
Would you tell me what goes on at St. Charles and Jackson Avenue, number 1? Can you tell me anything that goes on there that's interesting?
St. Charles and Jackson Avenue?
Yeah.
It's around that place that they have the carnival.
I hear they have a marvelous mortuary there, which used to be my family home. Number 2, can you tell me where Touro Infirmary is?
Yes, it's on Carlisle Street.
Number 3, where is Audubon Park?
It's out near the university section, sort of in the out.
Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, as a mathematics teacher in college, could you tell me any other trigonometry? In trigonometry, can you give me some more items that are used in the same way that sine is, for instance? Do you know?
Cosine.
Anything else?
tangent.
Yes. What's another one? Number 2, please. You know another? Cosine. Anything else? Number 1. Tell me, number 1, what is the specific problem in New Orleans that has to do with the construction of a bridge? What specifically do you run into there that you might not necessarily hear?
Well, I'd say the ground is different in New Orleans than it is here.
Thank you, number 1. What is a cantilever bridge? I'm asking number 1 again, Paul.
Well, you didn't...
What is a cantilever bridge?
That's all the time we have, I'm sorry to say. So, as we say on this show, if you can't a lever, vote. And it's time to do just that. So, without consultation, will you mark your ballots? And in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody voted? So quick tonight. Polly, for whom?
I voted for number 2.
For number 2.
My father has been a constructional engineer all of his life, and I wish I'd have paid more attention. But I don't think we'd have approved of pilings or things that stick in the ground that hold bridges up. So that eliminated number 1. And number 3 got awful bright with the mathematic problems, but I think. But I still had a feeling about number 2 being the right one.
Okay, Don, your vote.
I voted for number 3. Of course, my knowledge of bridge building, you can imagine, is quite extensive, so I know exactly everything that she said was right.
Kitty, which one do you think is the real one?
I voted for number 3. But it was between number 2 and number 3. Number 1, I don't think has ever been near either New Orleans or a bridge. It was but number 3 gave answers which I also couldn't verify about wind resistance and stress per foot that you asked about, and I thought it was number 3.
Okay, Tom.
Can I pass, Bud? Do I have to commit myself?
Yes, I do.
I voted for number 1. Well, It may not be very nice of me to say this, but the reason that I voted for number 1 because I thought maybe she was playing a little bit. If you'll notice, she didn't not answer any questions. She was a little slow about the longest bridge.
Some of them rather strangely.
Did she? Which one?
I thought so, yes. Which doesn't necessarily mean she isn't the right person.
Because she's been on the Pat Boone show.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that's it now. We've turned in some more votes here. We're about to assess the damage done thereby as we discover which one of these 3 ladies is the real bridge builder. So, let's find out now. Will the real Mansy Guerrero please stand up? Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Mrs. John McCormick, and I'm in the advertising department of the American Journal of Nursing.
Thank you very much. And number 3, your name, please, and what you do.
My name is Ann Folger, and I'm an administrative assistant with the Learning Resources Institute.
Thank you very much. Okay, there we have it. In checking up our score, we find this time there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes by our panel at $250 each for a total of $750 from Arid. On your way out, you'll find a gift package of all of Carter's fine products for each of you. Thank you very much, ladies, for being with us. Good night. God bless you.
Thank you.
Now, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Father William A. Lysing.
What is your name, please?
My name is Father William A. Lysing.
What is your name, please?
My name is Father William A. Lysing.
Again, panel, will you listen while I read you this affidavit? I, Father William A. Lysing, am a flying missionary. I am a priest, a practical dentist, and an airplane pilot. Most of my recent Christmases have been spent in the Arctic. One Christmas, in a gold mining camp, I said Christmas Mass on an altar of orange crates. Another Christmas Eve, I spent on a rescue mission 300 miles north of the Arctic Circle. I said one Christmas Mass in an Eskimo igloo on the north shore of Great Bear Lake. In my work, I cover 600,000 square miles of Arctic wilderness in Canada's rugged Northwest Territory. Signed, Father William A. Lysing. This time, as you heard, panel, 3 gentlemen, all claiming to be Father William A. Lysing, missionary priest in the Arctic. Comfortable, gentlemen? All right, let's begin this round of questioning with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Father number 1, what was the rescue that you accomplished?
This was the rescue of a young boy who had been out tending his traps. He happened to be the son of a ranger, and he had fallen on the stake in which the trap was fastened and pierced his lung.
Oh. And did you have to go? What did you go by?
Flew in and flew the boy out to the hospital.
Number 2, what is a malamute?
A malamute? That is a kind of a meat that the Eskimos eat.
Number 3, can you tell me if the igloos are really made of blocks of ice?
No, the igloos are really made of blocks of snow.
Snow? Packed hard?
Packed hard.
Is it warm in an igloo?
Quite warm.
Well, how does the smoke go out?
There is no smoke to go out.
Tom?
They eat cold food?
Cold and raw food.
Tom Poston.
They eat cold milk.
Cold and raw food, he said.
Number 3, just at a chance, do you happen to know Dr. A.B. Weinstein, the dentist?
Dr. A.B. Weinstein? No, I
Rather
do not.
famous dentist. Number 1, do you happen to know him?
No, I don't.
Just a quick chance. Okay. Number 3, again, please. Why is it dangerous to idle an airplane engine at low RPM for a protracted period of time?
It follows the spark plugs.
Thank you, number 3. Number 1, why do you find it necessary to run a prop through before starting an engine?
Make sure it doesn't kick back.
Number 3?
That's true. You have to clear your cylinders.
Well, okay. Thank you, number 3. Number 2. What is the meaning of the expression north of steel?
North of steel? I don't know.
Number 3, do you happen to know that?
North of a railroad.
Number 1, Father?
North of a railroad, yes. We're a long way north of a railroad.
Thank you. Number one.
Polly?
Number one, no. Number three. What's your firewall? Where is your firewall in a plane?
The wall directly back of the engine in an aircraft.
Number one, where's the engine? Well, that didn't locate it for me yet. Wait a minute.
In a single motor plane, it's the head of the cockpit.
Number two, what is the name of the tribe that is most often called the Eskimo?
That's the Mikulek.
I beg your
The
pardon?
Mikulek.
Number three, could you give me an answer to that?
Well, I could give you an answer to that in naming another tribe like the Malamutes or the Padlamutes.
Don?
Number two, how many books are used to say the office in the course of a year?
What did
Beg
you
your
say?
pardon?
How many books are used to say the office in the course of a year?
7.
Number three.
I would say 3, 4.
Number one.
3.
Number two, what are the essential parts of the Mass?
The essential parts of the Mass, of course, the chalice is the main.
Number three.
The essential part of the Mass would be the
Parts.
missal and the chalice.
Number one, what is meant by the church supplies?
Church supplies are those things which the priest has on hand to do mass.
Number-
to give mass.
That's it. That's all the time we have. It's time to vote. Once again, panel, will you mark your ballots in this case for number 1, number 2, or number 3? There you have it. Have you made your choices yet, everybody?
No.
Oh, this is terrible. I can't. I can't.
Looks to me like the two gentlemen voted ahead of the ladies. There they go. Kitty has voted, and Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
Well, first I felt very strongly about number 2, and then I switched to number 3 because I thought number 1 was out, and then I voted for number 1 because... No, that really is honestly the way it happened. I really felt strong, and I actually switched from 2, and then I switched to 3, and then I switched to 1. And I think mainly because of his last answer to Don's last question. I wasn't sure about number 3's answer on some of the things that Don asked him. So it's very close for me. I'm not too well versed on Eskimos or things.
Would you like to change your vote?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to go through your reason again?
I don't think I could.
Don, who'd you vote for, please?
I voted for number 1. I was under the impression there were 4 books to use to say the office each year instead of 3. But maybe I'm wrong.
Okay,
Probably
Kitty?
am.
I voted for number 1. Number 2 said that the Malamute was a food, and I don't believe it is. I think it's a dog. Although number 3, whom I was very fond of, said that it was a tribe. But maybe it was a tribe they named the dogs after. So I voted for number 1.
Okay, Tom, your selection.
I voted for number 3, Bud. Looks like I'm the great dissenter tonight. But he answered all the questions right that I knew about, and I didn't like number 1's answer on why you run a prop through before you start the engine. Okay?
Okay, there we are. It's your choice and your choice alone, panel. Let's see how well you chose. And as we find out that, we will discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real missionary priest in the Arctic. So, moment of truth. Will the real Father William Lysing please stand up? Boy, I'm telling you, I don't know who the real one is ever either. I had number 1 tagged. I was going right along with the first 3 of you, and I thought that Tom was wrong, but he was the only one right, so the great dissenting paid off for you, Tom. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
I'm Sherwood A. Messner. I'm the Program Services Director for United Cerebral Palsy Associations, and I've been privileged to say that our campaign for funds starts next month.
Thank you, sir. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
My name is Tom Landry. I'm defensive coach of the New York Football Giants.
As you can see, that's enough said. Incidentally, Tom, I know I speak for all of us when we say congratulations on the Giants winning the Eastern Division Championship. And I assume they're going ahead now and win the other 2.
Well, we're going to try.
We've been mighty close to the Giants because some of our best liars in this show have been football giants. We've had Ken Cavanaugh, we had Kyle Rote, we had Alex Webster, And last but by no means least, of course, your head coach, Jim Lee Howell.
That's right.
So they're good liars and good players, too. Well, let's check. Yes. Who?
Robustelli.
You're right. Robustelli was. That's another one.
The liar, Robustelli, the liar.
Check on the score here. We find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 for you gentlemen from Arid. On your way out, you will find a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you. Good night, gentlemen, and Merry Christmas to you.
This program was pre-recorded.